Hey yogis, this is Leigha Butler. For this beginner level practice, it will be helpful to have a block or two blocks and maybe a strap. If you don't have a block, feel free to use something like a big heavy book, and you may be able to get away with no block at all. Let's see how it goes. Let's find a comfortable seated position, maybe sitting up on a blanket or block to feel nice and tall through your spine. On an inhalation, we'll reach our arms wide and up overhead, allowing the palms to touch. Pulling prayer hands through your heart on an exhale. With so much intention, let's do it again. Sweep our arms wide and all the way up, feeling every piece of this as the palms touch overhead. Pulling the hands through your heart again. This time, bow the chin toward your fingers and take a moment to set an intention or goal for your yoga practice today. Release your right fingertips to the floor and sweep your left arm up and across your ear line. Keep the seat grounded and use breaths to lengthen the spine as you inhale and find depth in this fold as you exhale. You can roll your heart up toward the ceiling, looking underneath your left arm. Make your way back to a neutral spine. And just take a moment to notice how the sides have changed. And we'll release left fingers to the ground, sweeping the right arm up and across the ear line. Breathing length into your spine and finding depth as you exhale. We'll spin the heart up to face the ceiling and peek up underneath this right arm. Let's come back to neutral. Tipping back to extend our legs and find our way standing at the top of the mat. Step your feet close together and stand tall in Tadasana pose, breathing up and down the spine. On an inhalation, we'll reach our arms up above, taking hold of the left wrist, reach up and then over to the right. Stay heavy and grounded in your left leg, all the way down through the heel. Come back to neutral, reaching up, and then taking hold of the right wrist. Reach up again, grow tall, and then tip over to the left, sinking the right heel all the way down into the ground. Come back to neutral, reach up, bending knees, dive down deeply for forward fold. You can take hold of your own elbows and keep a little bend in your knees. If it feels good to sway left and right, you can sway. Give yourself over to the fold and slide hands to your knees and look forward, lengthening the spine. Take an exhale and bow in again, grabbing hold of the elbows in the opposite direction, still keeping a little bend in the knees. It's a very safe way to fold. And slide hands to shins, stretch your heart forward, and slide hands to your waist. Coming all the way up to stand, lift your heart, drawing your elbows back, and then find your way to a neutral spine. Join prayer hands at your heart, and we'll sweep our arms up overhead, lifting the heart high. Exhale to swan dive down, all the way over legs, bowing for forward fold. Look forward on an inhalation, and then step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. So you'll be framing the left foot, and if you're feeling tight here, now's a chance to get those books out or blocks out. We're just going to rock forward and back to warm up the legs. There's really no wrong way to do it, just move. It's nice if you can sync the movements with breath, but it's not important right now that we do. Let's step into plank position, lowering down knees, chest, chin, then rolling up to lift the heart for Cobra pose, shoulders down and back. And bowing all the way down, press hips to heels, finding child's pose, this place of relaxation and softness. It's a place you can come back to at any time in the practice if you feel overstrained. Breathing into the back body and all the way down into the hips. We'll reach our arms forward, spreading fingers, tucking toes, and pressing the hips up high for downward facing dog, our upside down V. You can bend into a knee at a time here, making it feel right, establishing your comfortable downward dog. We'll spread our fingers very wide. Sink the heels toward the mat. It never matters if they touch the mat. Keep a long line from arms through spine. We'll come onto toes, walking slowly to the top of the mat. At the top, look forward, inhale, and then exhale to bow down for Uttanasana, your forward fold. Rise up, leading with your heart. Let the palms touch overhead, and then pull prayer hands into your chest. Let's come back in. Reach the arms up overhead, offer heart up high, and then dive down for forward fold. Feed the belly to your heart, look forward, and then exhale, step this left foot to the back of the mat. You could take hold of blocks now, or use fingertips on the ground as we rock forward and back as though we were lubricating the legs. We'll plant palms on the ground, stepping into plank position with an inhale, lowering knees, chest, and chin, finding our Cobra pose, a lift for the heart and softness down and through the shoulders. Lowering down, tuck your toes, and find your way into downward facing dog. Allow the head to be heavy and the neck to be long and supple. Find long breaths here. Coming high onto your toes, take a walk to the top of the mat and stay low with the head and heart. And when you arrive, look forward, flat back, folding in to Uttanasana, and then rising all the way up to stand. Palms will touch overhead, and the hands will slide through your heart. Let's add on. Sweep up, lift the heart, diving all the way down for forward fold. Look forward on an inhalation, and then step the right foot all the way back. Rocking again, this time just 3 times, blocks or no blocks. Set your back knee down, climb up onto your left thigh, and sweep the arms up overhead. Grow as tall as you can, grounding down through the left heel, connecting that heel right into your pelvis, lifting up through the heart. We'll hook this right elbow beyond the left thigh, drawing prayer hands into the chest and looking back behind the left shoulder. Do the best you can in this spinal twist. And we'll come back to neutral, reaching the arms up overhead, and then diving down over this left leg as you straighten it out and flex the foot. It may be helpful to find blocks or books to give you more height as you fold. With every inhalation, lengthen through your spine. And notice that the exhales can help you to fold deeper. Each breath is progress. We'll bend into the left knee, plant our hands, and then step back into plank position, lowering again, knees, chest, chin. Snake up into Cobra, lifting your heart, but drawing the shoulders down. We'll find our way into downward facing dog, hips up high, and the head very heavy. Sweep your right leg up and help this foot between the hands. It may be that you step halfway forward on the mat and then use your right hand to encourage the foot all the way to the top of the mat. Pausing here with the heart forward, arms wide to a T. Take the palms in front of you and then reach all the way up for this position, high lunge. And powerful in the legs, firm in the abdomen, but light and lifted through your heart. Swan dive down. Hands will frame this right foot as we step just a little bit in, taking a fold again over the right leg. Keeping as long a spine as you can, but eventually relaxing and releasing the head. If the blocks help you, use the blocks. It's always okay to keep a little bit of softness in the right knee here. But if it feels safe to straighten the leg fully, we'll straighten the leg. Stepping to the top of the mat, stretch your heart forward and then fold down for Uttanasana, forward fold. Root to rise, stand all the way up, allowing the palms to touch and sliding hands through your chest. Coming into our second side. Sweep our arms all the way up overhead. Diving down for forward fold. On an inhalation, heart is forward, so is the gaze. And then exhale, we'll step the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Rocking 3 times. And then setting the left knee down. We'll climb up onto this right thigh. And then sweep the arms all the way up, connecting heel to glutes to find that height for your heart. Keep the left arm reaching high. You can use the right hand on your thigh to find this twist, eventually hooking the left elbow all the way outside the right thigh, placing palms together at the center of your heart, and looking past the right shoulder. Breathe evenly, and then make your way back to a neutral spine, sweeping the arms up overhead, and diving down as you straighten this right leg, flexing the foot, taking a fold. This is half Hanumanasana or half split pose. The breath can be a great tool. Finding depth as you go, and always ease. Let's soften the right knee, tuck the back toes, planting palms, step into downward facing dog, spreading the fingers wide and tipping the sits bones as high as you can. We'll sweep the left leg up high, and then help this foot right between your hands. We'll send the gaze forward, lengthen the spine, taking arms wide to a T. Sweeping the arms in front, join palms, and then stand up all the way for high lunge pose. We find this play of opposites in yoga. This grounded quality in the legs, light and buoyant quality in the heart. Let the breath carry you upward. And then we'll swan dive down over the left leg, taking just enough of a step in to square hips and ground both heels. Lengthen the spine and fold over your left leg, using the support of blocks if that helps you. And keep the spine as long as we can, but ultimately give yourself over to ease in the fold. Then look forward and step to the top of the mat with a long spine. We'll fold all the way down for Uttanasana, and then reverse a swan dive to stand up tall for upward hands, palms joining at the top. Hands come through the heart, and we'll put a deep bend in the knees, reaching the arms back and tucking your chin for this downhill skier pose. We'll sweep the arms back up, stay bent in the knees for chair pose. And then again, reach down, arms come back, this time interlacing behind you and diving over straight or almost straight legs for a shoulder opening. On an exhalation, let's sweep our arms up overhead for Utkatasana, diving down again over straight legs to bow. Peeking forward, inhale, and exhale to step the right foot all the way back, followed by the left. Lowering down in your way to peel the heart up, finding Cobra position. Inhaling to free the heart, and exhaling to come all the way back into downward facing dog. We'll sweep the right leg high, and then help this foot right between your hands. Grounding the back heel, rise on up to warrior one, palms touching overhead. Release that right arm and see if you can wrap it around your back. If you can take the back of the hand to the back of your left hip, you can scoot it forward a little bit. Opening out into warrior two. Settling the energy. And flipping the right palm to stretch back for reverse triangle. The right leg straightens. Breathing all the way from the right toes to the right fingertips. Keeping spacious as you reach forward and then down for Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Feeling free to get a block for assistance. One arm stacking right on the other. It's as though your joints could breathe. Let's roll the left hand down to frame the right foot, and we'll transfer weight onto the right foot, lifting the left leg high. Just to make sure our hips are square, let's draw this left knee to meet the right, and then re-stretch the left leg up and behind you. Folding as deeply as you can, and maintaining an internal rotation of the top leg. That means the toes will point down and in. To lower down, press the left foot to the back of the mat, and hands will frame the right foot. Stepping into plank, lowering down to the belly. Roll your heart up for Cobra, and then find downward facing dog. We'll sweep the left leg high, helping this foot between our hands, ground the back heel, and rise on up to warrior one. Guiding the energy upward. Palms can touch above you. Release that left arm and wrap it right behind the right hip, encouraging it forward. On an exhalation, opening out for warrior two. Powerful legs and a light and lifted heart. Eventually flipping the left palm and tipping back for a reverse triangle. The right hand will slide down the right leg and the left leg will stretch long, making space in the side body. Keep a lot of that space as you reach forward now and eventually down to the shin or to a block, ankle, or wherever you land. The right arm will stretch high, and we'll tip our gaze up toward the right thumb. Keep airing out your side body, airing out the shoulder and hip joints. And then we'll fold over this left leg, shifting weight onto the left foot and extending this right leg as high up as it'll go. We'll get square through the hips by joining the knees for a moment, and then re-extending the right leg up behind you, rolling the toes into your midline, bowing in as deeply as you're able, This in lieu of a split down on the mat. Allow the right foot to descend all the way to the back of the mat. Hands frame the front foot, stepping back to plank pose and lowering down, knees, chest, chin, snaking up, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose, dipping down and finding downward facing dog. Hips lifting high, the head and neck soft, so softening all the way to the base of your ears. Up onto toes, we'll take a walk to the top of the mat and fold all the way down for Uttanasana, forward fold. Bending knees, sweeping the arms up high again, Utkatasana, and then standing up tall in Tadasana pose. Preparing for a balance pose now, Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. We'll get hold of a strap or whatever you might have, a block or a sock even. Shifting weight eventually to the left foot and hooking the right foot with a strap. Standing very tall as you slowly extend this right leg. Now, if it were possible, you could hold yogi toe lock with your right fingers and slide the left hand to your waist. Let's ground down through the heel to lift the heart high and steady our breaths. And setting it all the way down, shaking it off, and then shifting weight onto the opposite side. Shift weight to right foot, lift that left foot and place it in your strap. Standing tall and extending this left leg forward. It might be that you have yogi toes with the right hand on your hip. Stand as tall as you can and plug the shoulders backward into their sockets. And resist the temptation to lean backward. Find that focal point and steady your breath. Let's set this all the way down. Shake it out and reset at the top of the mat. Hands at the heart, bend knees, sink low, but sweep the arms up high for Utkatasana. Diving into forward fold and looking forward, flat back. Let's step all the way back to plank position, lowering down. Taking Cobra pose, inhale the heart up, and then dip it down. Let's inhale the heart up again, only this time you might play with an upward dog, lifting the hips up off the ground and the legs up off the ground. Still on the tops of your feet. Now rolling back into downward facing dog. Sweeping the right leg up very high. Let's stack the hips this time, open them up and point the knee as high as you can, keeping spacious in the sides of the body. And then drawing this knee forward, plant the foot between your hands, ground the back heel, and reach up to warrior one. We'll release the arms to interlace them behind us, opening the heart, and then dipping forward for humble warrior. So we'll bow just inside this right thigh as we hug the right hip backward and in. Let go of tension in the neck, and then reach all the way back up. Warrior one, opening right away for warrior two. Tipping into peaceful warrior, and then setting the right forearm on your thigh as you reach the left arm across your ear line. This is side angle pose. We'll work to roll the heart open. Come all the way back and up for peaceful warrior, and then roll on down. Step through the vinyasa in your way. We can always meet in downward facing dog. Otherwise, come all the way to the mat. Lift in your favorite back bend and find downward facing dog. Sweeping the left leg high. Let's open this hip. Bend the knee and point it as high as it'll go. Keeping space at the sides of the body. And then placing this foot right between your hands. Ground the back heel and stand up tall for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Releasing the arms and interlacing fingers behind. Draw the knuckles down as you lift your chest up high, and then bow just inside this left thigh for Humble Warrior. The head is very heavy, and the left hip tucks in and back. On an inhalation, come all the way back up to Warrior 1, opening right away into Warrior 2, tipping back into Peaceful Warrior, and then setting the left forearm on your thigh, right arm up and across your ear line. Roll the chest to the heavens. Stay this deep in your legs as you come all the way back up for Peaceful Warrior. Roll the hands down and around, and step through the vinyasa of your choosing, lowering how you love to, peeling the heart open, and then finding your way back to downward facing dog. Let's step all the way through this time to sit down, preparing for seated poses. The first is Janu Sirsasana. Left knee is bent and the right leg is long. Swivel to face your right leg and take a bow over it, using a strap if it can assist your fold. Keep expanding and lengthening through the spine as you inhale, and melt into the fold as you exhale. And we'll sit all the way up, scooping the left knee up, cross that foot around the right leg. We'll reach the right arm up and take a twist to your left, either wrapping the right arm around this left knee or hooking the elbow beyond it. Looking beyond that left shoulder. And finding depth with your exhales. This is a nice massage for our abdominal organs. We'll take a counter pose, dipping the heart all the way down, and then facing forward to switch. Left leg stays long. We'll bend the right knee in. Facing the left leg, take your bow. If the strap helps you, use it and can keep the spine nice and long. It's always okay to soften the knees a little bit if that feels best. Let it be a process of melting into the fold. And come all the way up on an inhale, scooping the right knee closed and crossing that foot beyond the left leg. Left arm reaches high as we twist to the right, and you could wrap the arm around your knee or hook the elbow beyond your knee, looking past that right shoulder. Trying to maintain openness at the chest, finding ever more depth with our exhalations. We'll find a counter pose, twisting to the other side. And then we'll face forward, preparing for paschimottanasana, a simple forward fold. Come to the tops of your sitting bones and reach your arms all the way up. On an exhale, hinge at the hips, bowing down. Here again, the strap can be of assistance. It helps the spine stay long. Another option is to sit up high on a blanket or a pillow, especially if you sense that the low back is being stretched too much or if it's rounding a lot. If you'd like to make this more intense, keep flexing your feet. And we'll come all the way back up. Scoot toward the top of your mat, and with knees bent, lie all the way back. If you have a block, we'll place it right underneath the sacrum, the low part of your back. Staying there in supported bridge or pressing down through heels, lifting the hips up high and interlacing fingers underneath you for full bridge pose, drawing the shoulder blades together underneath your back. Slowly releasing down and hugging the knees into your chest, Let's rock from side to side, getting a little massage of the lower back. And then make yourself as comfortable as you can, because we've arrived here in our Shavasana, our final relaxation pose. Allow the feet to be as wide as the mat. The toes will naturally splay out. Palms can be a few inches away from the sides of your body, facing up. It's as though the shoulders could breathe. The hip joints can breathe. All the muscles become heavier. Each breath will become a surrender. Stay for as long as you like. I have about a half minute longer for this video, but do take time to soak the practice in. Thank you for watching. Namaste.